Buongiorno a tutti quanti ragazzi ed eccoci qui di nuovo a Carta Sera Stewart. Sì, è vero, è incredibile, sto parlando in italiano, ma d'altronde in certe circostanze bisogna anche ammettere la propria origine, la propria nazionalità, no? E in questo caso perché mi vedete così in maniera un po' sporadica, confusa, perché ho utilizzato comunque una low quality rispetto anche agli altri camera operatori che di solito abbiamo sempre comunque una grande qualità all'interno della realizzazione dei video? Beh, molto semplicemente perché oggi è una giornata speciale, è la giornata dedicata alle interviste, come vi dicevo anche alle interviste a determinati artisti internazionali. E come ogni lunedì, giovedì e venerdì, vi ricordo, uploaderò d'ora in avanti una determinata intervista, o ovviamente il lunedì della settimana, o il giovedì della settimana, o il venerdì della settimana, alternata al cosiddetto Rock Friday che ho creato nel mio canale, appunto per cercare di informarvi su quello che è l'ambiente contemporaneo, ma anche quelle che sono le nuove appunto figure emergenti nell'ambito artistico. Una di queste è Tom Wayne Bertolotti. Tom Wayne Bertolotti è americano, appunto come vi stavo dicendo è di origine americana, ma tuttavia ha un grosso trascorso italiano, ha origini italiane e soprattutto ha studiato all'Università di Pavia, in maniera specifica filosofia. Quindi tutte le sue opere, anche le sue fotografie, perché quello che preferibilmente utilizza come strumento di comunicazione è la camera fotografica, sono impregnate da questo senso esistenziale, da questa sorta di ricerca principale filosofica che lui ha nei confronti del genere umano e comunque tratta dei temi abbastanza interessanti. Ovviamente non li sentirete partorire dalla mia bocca perché sarà direttamente lui la persona che ve li presenterà su un piatto d'argento, come si dice anche nell'espressione britannica, e l'unica cosa che vi posso appunto perlustrare prima comunque di iniziare questa video intervista insieme a lui è che allora, fondamentalmente tutte le mie sezioni video, come ben vedete, sono strutturate e incentrate principalmente nelle film produzioni. Se vedrete delle variazioni è per creare ovviamente maggiore interesse e ovviamente se anche voi vorrete prendere parte e vi sentite comunque abbastanza esperti per poter lasciare anche una vostra esperienza a livello artistico, potete contattarmi a www.sarastewartphotography.com oppure alla mia mail che è molto più diretta e alla quale rispondo sempre in maniera appunto esauriente ad annovi.sara89@gmail.com. A differenza delle altre persone io controllo tutte le mail che mi arrivano, non faccio distinzioni anche perché voglio essere aperta e dare a tutte la possibilità di esprimersi. Ecco perché il mio canale è un po' diverso rispetto a quello degli altri che magari sono già ben strutturati. Potete pensare che questa sia una questione di marketing strategy, in realtà no, è anche una questione morale ed etica che a me piace essere aperte ad entrambi i fronti. E per quanto riguarda invece la questione appunto delle film review, ho notato molto spesso che molti mi hanno detto di cambiare un attimo anche magari la questione dell'audio perché alcune volte crea delle problematiche nell'ascolto. È una cosa a cui cercherò di fare più attenzione, anche se purtroppo in mancanza di negozi che possano procurare al momento dei jack qui non è possibile muoversi e non posso promettervi almeno per questi mesi la possibilità di poter parlare direttamente con voi in maniera più limpida e chiara. Certo è che in teoria dovrebbe arrivare, ma l'arrivo della consegna da Amazon è stato previsto per il 10 di giugno, quindi rimbocchiamoci le maniche nel frattempo e non guardiamo appunto le problematiche dovute alla consegna. L'unica cosa che posso dirvi di sicuro è che poi quando mi trasferirò e sarò di nuovo in Germania sarà poi possibile avere maggiori collaborazioni e da parte vostra anche una maggiore interazione. Faremo anche dei candle book. Sto lavorando al momento allo script di un libro che appunto si basa su una storia vera che io personalmente ho in qualche modo vissuto e appunto si intitola White Clouds. Primo capitolo di Art Director, come consuetudine appunto in quelle che sono i miei ambiti artistici. Altro fardello molto importante, altra postilla molto importante che non voglio assolutamente scordarmi è che d'ora in avanti, visto che comunque ho sia un pubblico italiano che inglese, cercherò di dividermi, non farò solamente i video in inglese, ma cercherò allo stesso tempo di dare ampio spessore a quella che è la mia lingua natia. E ovviamente adesso, in questo momento, vi troverete un po' nella situazione di dovervi sorbire entrambe le lingue nello stesso pacchetto, ma d'ora in avanti le mie presentazioni saranno ancora più snelle. Tuttavia, la mancanza di interazione non ci sarà, perché cercherò sempre di tenervi aggiornati con contenuti stratosferici, ovviamente cose inedite e cose che secondo me non vengono trattate anche dagli altri canali. Questa è una cosa fondamentale. Vi mando un bacio grande e spero che possiate godervi la mia intervista. Ovviamente non vi sforzo a mettere like o ad iscrivervi, perché è una cosa che dovrebbe accadere spontaneamente, ma nel caso non accadesse perché magari siete presi da una cosa o non volete semplicemente mettercelo perché non lo apprezzerete, allora invito chi invece apprezza questo canale e ci vede qualcosa comunque di speciale di mettere il like e di iscriversi, perché farebbe tanto piacere alla Stewart e perché in qualche modo questo ci dà anche la possibilità di poter interagire ancora di più e magari in futuro anche di fare delle collaborazioni più redditizie. Ok? Hi guys, I'm Sarah Stewart and I'm here and I'm going to do another interview with Tom Wayne Bertolotti, which is an American talented photographer and also philosopher, as he studied in the University of Pavia, so he had a contact previously with the Italian lifestyle and he knows exactly what it means to be America and citizenships and at the same time being a student in Italy. So that's why I would love to give him space. As I recount perfectly the last time I explained to you how my channel is structured, so I want to record again my previously intervention. So at Monday and Friday as well and Thursday we are gonna have different kind of interview. I'm going to upload content that is relative to the interview. It doesn't mean that all Monday, Friday and Thursday you will have this kind of content, but for example we can decide between Monday or Thursday or Friday. And remember that also on Friday it could be alternatively changed with my Rock Friday, which is like new music covers based on rock and based on things that basically have my voice timbre. So a lot of people talks about the fact that sincerely, sometimes when I do especially film a review, they don't hear the audio as well because it's not completely clear and sometimes my voice can be a bit rough. I want to apologize about it, but at the moment without a jack and without instrumentation, it's not possible to go out and take what is something that I need in order to make the audio more clear, more accessible to everyone. So I'm sorry from this point of view if you have to take patience, but we will try to figure out and we will try of course to do it in places where the voice kept clear and clean and you will hear not noises or disturbances. As you saw previously, I also introduced the channel in Italian. Why did I do that? Because I'm an Italian citizen. Yes, guys, you will never knew about this, but actually yes, I'm not British, I'm not American, I'm Italian, and everybody told me, why do you speak English so well? I don't know why, I don't know what God gives me, but it's a special talent. I can do the accent, you know, I can do the pronunciation, but actually I'm an Italian citizen, so the reason why you should sometime consider the fact that I will talk from Italian and switch from Italian to English is because in this way I can have both the audience engaged and I don't have to be unpolite with anyone specifically. Of course, this interview is related to a person that already had experiences in art gallery and is going to give a special clue about how is the life of an artist, especially during the coronavirus, right? But if you have other little things that you want to inform myself trying to make the channel grow, you can directly try to inform me at annovi.sarah89@gmail.com, which is my email, and you can email me privately and trying to keep give me new contents, give new things to upload, maybe new suggestions. I will always appreciate. I'm not the kind of person that only select one person because I like it. I'm not in the condition of doing it, of course, but at the same time, it's not my ethic. I pay attention to every one of them, and even if at the moment, like at that precise moment, I cannot focus on that person, I will try to do my best as recovering all the people that I have in my email. So don't worry, whatever you're going to upload, it will be much more than considered, okay? Then I hope that you will follow me. Of course, it's something that I would love that you subscribe to my channel and put a big like to any video that you found. Like, this is how it should work. But if you don't appreciate this video and you don't appreciate this channel, you are not forced to do that unless you are proudly thinking that maybe one day I will also collaborate with you and make an interview here, then that can increase the potential of the channel itself. So critics is always well accepted. But of course, it depends on you. I believe that there are a couple of people that are going to subscribe and a couple of people that are not going to subscribe. But this is the life and this is the way it works here. You are freely invited to join Sarah Stewart. I will always upload the new content and you will be very shocked and at the same time surprised to see that kind of entity and richness in my channel. So bye, and instead of people that are going to ask you hashtag like try to remain at home, I'm not the kind of person, I will say hashtag come on, that in a few couple of minutes we are gonna go out from this terrible hell, okay? So big viral kisses, your Sarah Stewart. Mwah. Okay, thank you Tom to be here to my YouTube channel. I would love to make you some questions because I previously presented to you, like before you were present, I said to your audience what kind of role you're covering. So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, why don't you explain to us how exactly would you define yourself better? Like,
I'm a photographer and a philosopher. As like I'm a freelance intellectual and a freelance photographer. I've been an academic for the past 10 years, and at some point I felt I needed a change of life, and life brought me to California, and I decided I could do something else with my life. And since photography had been my passion, I decided to make it my full-time, but also, of course, with the kind of like without forsaking my training, because that's part of who I am.
Yeah, would you like to describe better your training and also your professional formation rather than simply starting from the photography background? Like, for example...
like when I started university, like I actually started physics because I was like kind of like good at everything at high school, and I was like, okay, I really like science, I'm going to do physics. But I discovered that physics at the university level was very different from physics at high school, and after 3 weeks I really missed like something like different than the variety of high school. So I decided that philosophy was the thing that was closest to high school, like being able to study a bit of science, a bit of literature, a bit of like languages and media. So I went for that and I really liked it, and then I started a PhD program there. And I still liked it, and I started postdocs, and then I didn't like this that much anymore. And yeah, and so after a while I was like,
And how do you picture Italy, like in your memory, as a real Italian, as you are from origin Italian as well?
I mean, I don't know. It's like, it's interesting. Like Italy, it's like my memory of growing up, and also like, I mean, I wasn't like, even my academic time, it was spent mostly in Italy, like 80% of the time was in Italy. So it's like, it's interesting. When I go back now, it's like, it's really like it's like being in a cardboard country. It's very, yeah, I mean, I live it in a very different way. And even now it's funny because now we're having this interview, I'm here in Los Angeles, but I should have like been in Italy like for a month now. I should have spent a month there. From the 18th
and you went to the University of Pavia. You graduated.
Yeah, in Pavia, yeah. And I should have. That's where my family lives, and I should have spent like. I mean, yeah, I was supposed to be in Europe from the 18th of March to the 15th of April, but we're stuck at home.
We are stuck here.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, but that's a good thing. I want to make you smile is that every time when I ask a man to a date, on the online web, they always upset. When it comes for interview, there is always an accident coming in the way. I don't know why.
Because it's still, I mean, we still do not like to work. So like even interviews, even if they're from home, they still feel like work. So I'm like, I don't want to work.
That's a smart working, right?
Yeah, it's a smart. I mean, there's nothing smart as smart working.
It's not so smart.
It's not always so smart. Even though like I've seen that like with photography, it's really, really hard to do like smart working.
So coming back to your photography, that's what I want to talk about, is because one thing that it cooks me really well when I was on your Instagram profile, which is also a professional window to your work, is that little wooden modeling that you have at your left and right.
These guys,
which you call Dedalus.
Yes,
right?
yes. I mean, he's the original. Better. This guy is the original Dedalus.
Yeah.
The other one doesn't really have a name.
Okay, so explain to us like your concept, in more accessible words, because I know you're a philosopher. So I'm
gonna explain the whole genesis of this project. I love shooting portraits, so I got trained, like I self-trained myself in photography with street photography and landscapes. And then I applied my style to portraits, and I love it, and my clients love my portraits and everything. But you don't always have like chances of taking portraits all the time. So I once I was in an art store, I was buying frames, and I saw this guy. You know, the typical art mannequin that like art students use to learn the proportion of the human body, learn like how to paint posters and everything. I was like, maybe I could do some interesting shit with that. So that's what I did. I bought him. It was like $9. I was like, well, worst case scenario, like I would have wasted $9. And we got friends like since the beginning. We really got friends because and actually what I was really impressed with is that you could pose him in a way to display emotions very strongly. And people would recognize the emotions, even if, I mean, you see he has no face. Okay.
Yeah, but he's expressive.
He's very expressive. And, you know, it's interesting because it really connected with my academic studies about how cognition, how reasoning is not only in the brain, but it's also in the body and in the external world. And that's how I was like, hey, this is like blending my philosophy and my photography together. And I'm like, and since then I started this series, and one of the first pictures, I don't know if you saw it, was taken with the figurine on this light here.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I mean, since his head looks like a light bulb, I called him Edison. True. In the beginning. That was his first name. Edison, like Edison. No, like Edison, like the guy from the.
Edison.
Yeah.
Okay, Edison, like the like. Okay.
Yeah. So I called him Edison, but then for some reason I really started thinking about the philosophical value of those of these images, and I thought about I took a pictures where he was like reaching for another light bulb, and he reminded me of Icarus reaching for the sun.
Yeah.
But this guy is still alive, so actually I thought, hey, what about maybe it's not Icarus, maybe it's his dad, Dedalus. And of course it's great because, I mean, Dedalus is a word that also means the labyrinth that Dedalus invented to trap the Minotaur. So I was like, hey, well, the labyrinth is the mind. So this little guy is helping us travel or get lost in the labyrinth of the mind. So Dedalus is a very appropriate name.
That's a genial.
And also, how like sex in your figurine relate
previously?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that it's interesting. I mean, and I think that the sexuality in Dedalus images, it kind of begs the question, because I kind of described Dedalus as a like gender neutral or gender fluid figure. I mean, I discovered that there's also like female figurines, like art figurines that should be a female. They're really ugly. They really don't look like females. yeah, they're not nice. But maybe one day I'll buy one. I mean, just for the sake of it. But so I prefer like thinking of this.
Because it's alone, it's not.
No, it's not. I mean, yeah, whatever. So no, I mean it's like, so I prefer, and it was like the fun thing, like in the, sometimes I refer to him as like with the plural person, because it's like a them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really even. I mean, clearly there's a figure of myself in Dedalus. There's a like they mirror my feelings. So in a way, like their Dedalus is a guy, but at the same time he mirrors anyone. So the sex of Dedalus really doesn't matter. And I was thinking about doing some more like investigating the sexual image of Dedalus imagery. I still have to find out how to do it, because it would be a way, like probably if I was to shoot some erotic imagery with Dedalus or something that openly discusses sexuality, Dedalus would have to assume a sex, probably.
Okay, so it's more like a genderless.
It's a genderless, but of course, Dedalus is also naked, so not naked at the same time. So it kind of make I think that the lack of I would say that the complete lack of sexuality in Dedalus imagery makes people think about sexuality because it's so absent.
I
mean, exactly. Yes.
So another thing that is interesting is your research, in fact, when you are taking pictures. And one of the articles that I read about Mars presumably life that you were writing, and I found an article on the internet when you were explaining like the evolution and your concept about the human beings, and you mentioned the humans like cyborgs. And
the little.
Like when you're taking pictures,
absolutely.
Like that is a much part related.
So absolutely, I did much of my philosophical research on the notion of cyborg, and it's how human being. I mean, it's a concept that was developed by. I mean, it's been in like biomedical science since the 70s, and then it entered science fiction with the idea of like this robotic man, and then some philosophers such as Andy Clark use the notion, but in a cultural and philosophical term, to indicate how we are technological hybrids all the time. So even now, we can have this interview because we are cyborgs, because our intentionality and our sensorial system are plugged into the internet through the computers and the lenses. So we can do this because we are cyborgs. And the fact that we can interact and perceive emotions in things that are emotionless, and it's always about how extending our, even the fact of anthropomorphizing things that are not human is in a way part of this cyborgian nature, the tendency of our mind to plug into other things and find meaning and use them as part of our senses. So just as we can reason using a friend, like talk with a friend, and that helps us reasoning, and that's kind of social cyborg, like we connect our minds together. We can do it also with objects. So
I feel.
And in this guy, so like first of all, the photographer is a cyborg because it's like the man and the camera. It was a different cyborg, even when the camera was like a film camera. You're still a cyborg, because your sensorial system and your outputs blend together, your nervous system, your organs, and the machine. So before it was like lenses and film and chemical reactions, it's lenses and sensor and electrical processes. And it's the same with Dedalus. I mean, it's a very cyborgian system, me and my figurines.
Yeah, that's super. So I mentioned you a quote that I found that you wrote, and you can explain to me. It's not a physical presence, but it's more of a presence than a non-presence.
I love when people quote me things I remember. I have no idea what that meant. I mean, that's philosophy, you know?
Yeah.
Give me some context.
Okay, you were talking still about
the Trump impeachment hearings. Like, did you say that or not?
I think you wrote it, but no, you were mentioning about the human beings interaction at the same time. So you were talking about life in Mars and about like the characterization of like always like the. You were referring about technology, and you used the terms of transparent communication while you were saying that.
Yes, it's like the fact even like consider this interview.
Yeah.
There is no presence. I mean, there's no physical presence. But it's more of a presence than an absence because we're still managing to have some kind of images and sounds impressing our senses, even if it's mediated. But like this is very mediated because there's a screen and I see you on the screen, and I mean these guys see you on the screen. In a way, it's interesting because like you are less present than these that are here, but you are clearly more present because there is an intentional exchange that is not available that much with these guys. So it's interesting, and of course there are different levels because see if we were both wearing virtual reality goggles, then there would be like it would still be not a presence, but it'd be like even more present than now.
Okay,
that's exhaustive. Okay, then I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about like people, like if you want to present, if you ever think about like presenting your work into a gallery or in a sort of art gallery, what would you be like your idealistic installation if you had the possibility to organize it?
First of all, I think there's like two interesting things about this these photos. So first of all, I'm retaining the pop art lecture like by Andy Warhol on that, the fact that the biggest the better, and like what's very interesting with the Dedalus pictures is that since I use like a Fuji like 26 megapixel camera, I can really print them huge. And it's interesting because you're usually used to see those things very small, and all of a sudden you have like 24 by 36 inches print of this guy. It's like huge, and I think it's really interesting because then again it looks all ever more human, and so I would like a kind of simple exhibition, and the aim would be with like lots of those images like printed big, and the idea is to let the visitor engage with those pictures, because my aim is basically twofold: is to perceive the emotions that are expressed by the figurines, and at the same time wonder at the fact that you are perceiving emotions in something that is not alive, not human, and faceless. So I want you to wonder about how your own mind works.
And there is another thing that I want to ask you is about a book called Lego Sophia, right? Am I pronouncing it right? Because yeah. So you said in this, like, first of all, you have a personal opinion about Lego.
I'm gonna get quoted again. Damn it.
No, not quote at all. I want to ask you about like how Lego affect your like concept about like life, like the human being and the Lego, and how like children are related to this, like
for children, of course. No, it's like it's like I think there's a line. I think there is my passion for little things that entertain great minds. That started with Lego. I think there's a line between Legos and this project, this Dedalus project. It's clearly using external things as mirror of human beings, and these guys are more about an individual level and about the psychological level and more about the self, while Legos are about collectivity and society and our role with the environment. like not the environment, not necessarily in the sense of ecology or protection of the environment, but like the thing where we live in. And yes, I've been fascinated with Legos since I was a kid. I love Legos, and I thank my parents for like putting me on the way of Legos. And when it was about like probably 10 years, 10 years, I just started my PhD, did I? Yes, I think I did just start my PhD. So it was like probably 2011, 2012, I was to write a paper on scientific models, and I really hated that. But one idea came up, like, oh, what about maybe Legos are I can consider Lego as the Pythagorean word. It's like the Matrix before the Matrix. Everything is in like bricks are numbers. And so I had that idea, and that idea kind of like stayed in the back of my mind, but actually was like grabbing parts of other things for like probably like 7 years. And then in 2017, I found myself in a pause between university contracts, and I'm like, what am I doing now? And I wrote my book on Legos, Lego Sofia. Yeah, it's my baby. It's a cute book.
Everybody at the end of the university will think I will write a book about Lego.
Yeah.
No, it was actually.
Yeah, exactly. But I did it. Yeah, and it was an angry time of my life, and in a way, okay, I don't want to. Of course, with the due difference and no disrespect, it was a bit like when Thomas Mann wrote The Spirit of Lubeck to make peace with Germany. Like, writing my book about Lego kind of like made me accept my academic nature and all that. So it was like kind of, and I discovered that even though it was like a very counter-academic thing to do, because clearly it's a book that like has no value for your academic records, at the same time everything I put in it came from my university training. So it was like, okay, see, I still like who I am and what I know, and I can still like do fun stuff with that.
Yeah.
So no, probably not, because my French publisher is pretty big, and so they asked me they wanted the rights of all the languages except for Italian that was already taken. So I gave the rights to them. So I cannot self-publish it anymore.
Yeah, of course. That's more professional. I worship that.
Yeah. That's what I do. Yes, I don't know, it's interesting. It's an interesting question. Because the word of like publishing is so messed up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have I would love to make a book of philosophy and photography using like the Dedalus project. If I ever I'm not even sure I'm going to translate the Lego Sofia in English, even though it's almost finished. Like, it's 75% ready, but if I do it, it's going to be more for a circulation between friends. Because honestly, you know books take a lot of energy, and you barely you don't break even usually, like financially.
So let's go to the other question. Oh, I was missing that. Okay, I found a video on YouTube about you talking of self-love.
Yeah. Yes, that I remember.
And I want you to explain, to the other people, also therapeutically, what means self-love. Because everybody thinks self-loving means being selfish, but it's not like this. Can you?
It's very complicated, and I think it's it's all the more complicated to deal with it at this time.
Yeah.
In those COVID times we're living. So,
but you can turn into the positive way, take the positive side of your speech.
No, of course. Well, this is important. Actually, I think it's very important now, and it can be drawn positively now. So, well, let's say that self-love is little preamble. At some point in my life, I tried to be. Well, the thing is, to say this in plain 2020 language, I tried to be a philosophical coach.
Mm-hmm.
that is using your philosophical training and knowledge and expertise to improve people's life. But at the same time, if you think about it, that's how philosophy started, at least part of it, like the existential philosophy that was started with Socrates. So it's one who triggers you and makes you think and engages with you. So it doesn't have to be a coach in order to be like a philosophical coach. I mean, we invented coaching, okay, but it was better. So no, apart from this, so I've been thinking of ways to help people live better using philosophical knowledge. And one of the biggest problems that's acknowledged by all like coaching schools and many psychologists is the problem of self-love. Yeah. And it really doesn't matter if you are religious or not. One of the things that impressed me most, and I found it during my studies, is well, let's say that we, in the Western Christianly inspired world, we have always been biased against, in a way, we've been biased against self-love. We've been morally pushed towards self-abnegation and about forsaking oneself and for the others. And they said, like, you know, like the gospel says is all about service and it's about loving your brother as yourself and all that. But about this, so there is one of the greatest Christian theologians ever, and it's Saint Thomas Aquinas that bears the same name as I do. So like little connections. No, yeah. See, like no, no. It's like he's in his Summa Theologia, which is actually a handbook for preachers. So it's like full of little things that can be used in actual preaching and what like philosophers do most of the time they preach. He asked this question. So should you love more yourself or should you love more other people? And in the beginning it says, well, it is written that you should love your neighbors as yourself, so you should love your neighbors more. But then it says, yeah, but actually it says that you should love your neighbor as yourself. So he then makes an incredible example that I find so convincing. And he said, the love that you have for yourself is the exemplar of the love you can bear to other people. And when he says the exemplar, like the sample, it's like he refers to the way that books were reproduced in the Middle Ages. There was no print yet, no print system, so a book would be sent to a copying house, and there were the copists. They would the book would be separated into smaller sections, and each copier would copy a section, and then the new books would be put together. So, and the book that was sent to a copy house was the exemplar. So that's what's very interesting when St. Thomas uses the word exemplar, says that it's as if the love that you have for yourself is the master book. It's the first book, and from that book you copy the love you put to other people. And I think it's interesting. And, in a way, self-love is a big topic in my artistic photography project. And the fact that sometimes the mannequins are posed in a way to provoke empathy and compassion. Like many pictures do not show like a happy figure, but it's because people can recognize the mannequin as someone deserving care. And then the second step is recognizing themselves in the mannequin and then seeing themselves as needing care from themselves. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I mean it's a very complicated concept, the concept of self-love, and it's very contextual. Because on the one hand, it's not hedonism. It's not allowing yourself everything you want. we've been told that is not self-love. But, for instance, in these times, we are being told that as long as we don't go out, anything goes, basically. As long as we stay home, we can stay home and get drunk and get fat, and which would be like very far from the usual idea of self-love. Right now, there's a feeling that you can stay home and bake and binge Netflix and get drunk, and it's fine. So that's 2020 self-love.
And getting powder.
Yeah, exactly. And that's as long as you don't go out. So it's interesting. Apart from the joke, it's interesting how self-love is actually a very.
And about like your strategy of selling your works, like did you find like in this period particular that you cannot move a lot, a strategy of marketing just to maybe develop more your channel or even your profile and getting more like perspective of work through the digital content? Or
that's a good question. It's ups and downs. It's ups and downs. The very big problem in this situation is that we have no time frame. We literally have no time frame. So so whenever you work on something, it's intuitively in your mind an investment, and the very notion of investment is on time. So for instance, the idea I'm going to spend 2 days redoing my website. And it's a pain. Nobody enjoys working on their website. It's not nice.
No.
I would rather play the PlayStation than work on my website. But you do it because you're saying when this is going to be over, my website will be up and running and it's going to kick ass. So I'm like, you're doing it. But I done that in the first week of lockdown, even though something that they improperly called the lockdown. I did this in the first week, and then my productivity has been going down because I'm like, actually, I have no idea when all this crap is going to be useful. So So even though, then again, it's very, 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 contextual. Even this. Yeah. So it's interesting because it's okay, let me get philosophical. It's pandemic, air quotes. So it's universal. It's worldwide. But every place is it's happening differently in every place, and every place is reacting differently, and it's affecting differently every people. So, even people in the same household are affected differently, and it's objective, in terms of work and everything, and it's psychological. We all get affected differently. So, in a way, I must say that even if psychologically this is very hard for me this time, and I in a way, it's been killing my creativity. Since the quarantine started, I did 3 pictures with Dedalus, and it's interesting because I would say, oh, this is awesome. I can it's the perfect time to work on with these guys. But at the same time, I miss so much the other kind of landscape and people shooting that.
No, I do.
It's as if my creativity was running dry.
It's important to have an interaction also with other people, because they can inspire you.
Exactly.
And you can receive an opinion, a feedback.
But so I managed to do so. Here in California, it's interesting because even though we compared to the US, we start really early with restrictive measures. Things are going really well. Comparatively, we're doing well. So you still have a decent amount of freedom. So I could do an amazing project last week, and there's a local. So in places where you can go around, photographers are doing safely distanced portraits of people using telelenses.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so great to share.
It's
to promote the this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you have to be able to go out. So probably in Europe, with what it.
Please, can you say it again?
Yeah, I mean, you have to be able to go out. Okay. So it's like. So in the US and it's in suburbia, like it's very like everybody's under like lawns and porches, so it's like quite easy to take a picture, and you're like, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 meters away from them, so it's like really, really safe, and you wear a mask, which freaks people out, but still, you wear a mask, and it's very interesting. I've been doing that for 10 days. So I offered that to my neighborhood, and just for free. I'm not working, so like there's no like commercial projects going on, so I'm like, okay, on top of being bored, I didn't want to lose the habit of shooting, so I'm like, okay, let's do that. And actually a lady was the coordinator of the yearbook of a school, like here at the end of the year you got that book with all the pictures of the kids and everything, and it's usually you take those pictures towards the end of the year, and the end of the year is not happening. So she asked me if I wanted to take pictures of the kids and their families. And I said, yeah, of course. And I was expecting like 20 people to sign up. It was like 100 people in 10 days. So it's interesting. So no, that gave me, I think it's an amazing testimony. It's like a slice of life of people now in those like strange times. And you see how people are coping, some better, some less well. And it's not always due to...
Yeah. You mentioned the fact also that you were ongoing with this project about like capturing the family situation during coronavirus.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. So again, it's like contextual creativity, and we all wish we didn't have to do this because there was no coronavirus, but since it's here,
yes,
we're trying to cope with what I mean. And yes, then you see like various forms of self-love and.
Of course.
Yeah.
So, like, changing a different subject from the one that we talked before, like, if you, like, can suggest a young artist, like, for this first time to promote his works or to deal with the art gallery, like, in your experience, what kind of advices would you give to him or her, like...
Okay, I would give these advices. Spread out as much as you can. Do not put all of your eggs in one basket. Spread out as much as you can, like literally, because in the beginning, like anything goes. So without try not to lose too much money. So if you make art that, for instance, it's worth, it costs you 500 euros to produce it. Do not sell it for 50, because then you're not loving yourself. But otherwise, of course, there's investments and everything. Go as wide as possible. Go like online. Go see like local stores and cafes when they will open again, if they can like hang your art in consignment. And do not ever take it personally. Because it was like in the beginning when I was like visiting galleries here, especially like kind of pop galleries that have like things like, my picture would be great here. And I asked, would you be interested in my art? And they are like, we have an online submission system. And I'm like, but would you like to just see it and see if it would be appropriate? And they're like, no. We don't want to see it. Like...
What?
Because it's like, then everyone... it's the system. Because like, then everyone would do it. And they don't have time or don't want to do it. So it's not about you. That's the thing important to know. It's not about you.
That's the point.
Don't take it personally.
Okay, so the next mission... Not considering in very closest perspective, but in a faraway distance perspective, next mission.
Well, I would really love to write this book about this, using the Dedalus project and add some kind of like aesthetical and philosophical meditations that I would really like. and a half.
Yeah. But I saw even that you are doing like a great landscape photography. Like you have a very keen eye on taking a specific.
I think it's a philosophical
like,
training.
You're always telling something, like narrating something in your picture.
Yeah, because I think that I realized this. It's like even when you take like profile picture or a headshot of someone, it's like your image like today is like your ambassador. So you really want you want people to connect with the image and say, oh, I really want to meet this guy, and you want people to build correct expectations, because then when your expectations are met, like people are happy about having met you. So yes, I mean I really enjoy my photography, my landscapes, and my portraits. I really. And of course, yeah, I'm like, and you see, as for that, I really cannot wait to be able to go around again, because there's been a lot of that. So there's a movement now of remote photo shoots, like photo shoots, photo shoots via Skype and Zoom.
No, come on.
I mean,
it's the ruin of the photographer.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, because it's like. So I think that you could do that if you had like an actual like drone, like maybe a drone on wheels, and you could like with a robotic arm, and you can like move 3-dimensionally, and even though it would and you would have a screen of your face, you can give the feedback and all, like, oh, I tried shooting with the mask, with a face mask on.
Oh.
Super difficult, because it's really hard. You have to make your feedback really, really verbal, because the subject doesn't see you smiling, doesn't see your expression. So if they look great and everything, you have to tell them, because they won't see you smile. So actually, the amazing thing about this crisis is that it's making us realize how much physical presence is crucial for many, many things.
Lot. I think the same.
The importance of our like physical bodies in the world.
So, Tom, what can I say? I finished all the question for you, so you don't have to be interviewed anymore. But I hope that you like it.
Did I pass the exam?
No, yeah. I think that I liked your words, and they inspire me a lot. I think they inspire even the audience. I hope that you like even the interview, like despite.
I'm gonna try and make a picture for your channel. So like a Dedalus picture that's gonna be for your channel.
Yeah, you can do it. Like even now in this moment, I will take this time. If you want, we can make it here. Like when you're doing it.
Oh wait! Oh yeah, good idea. Wait a second.
Yeah, okay. I will wait here. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So you have a memory.
Yeah.
I hope that it works.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
So thank you so much even for this demonstration. It wasn't something that we projected. So exactly. Thank you, Tom.
Yes, absolutely. Do subscribe. It is super interesting. And as you stay home and stay safe, just check out our videos.